Well, hello everyone. I'm dancing to imaginary music, I guess. That was like me hearing my own intro. Anyway, so I'm not sure how to see like when people start posting stuff. Maybe it's over here. But as you guys hop on and post questions, I will answer them, okay? While I'm waiting for some people to view, I wanted to share this important update with you. I was at Target today and came across these beauties. They're very comfortable, like flip floppy comfortable, and then this soft plastic part. So, anyway, in case you are looking for a pair of shoes, I thought those were really great. Um, go to Target, they were like $15. Another thing that I'd like to show you guys while I'm waiting for some people to hop on is this yogurt. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have tried this. It's called Too Good. Oh, good, you can see it really nice. And it's only got 2 grams of sugar and 3 grams of total carbohydrate in it, and it's sweetened with stevia, which is amazing because I really hate artificial sweetener taste, even if it's the healthy stuff. But this isn't bad at all. And if I add a few, like a handful of nuts or paleo granola or whatever to it, I really don't taste anything except yummy yogurt. And they have a couple of flavors, and I've seen it at Target and at Kroger, and I'm sure it's at every other grocery store. It's like a Greek yogurt, but I like the vanilla because you can make it be anything. I think this morning I put peanut butter in it, and that was kind of fun. What else do I want to say about it? Oh, it's organic as well. It is low fat, which is not generally something I recommend. I like higher fat foods when you're on a lower carb diet, so add some fat to it. Put some MCT oil in there. Like I did, you could put the peanut butter, or you could add almond butter, or coconut shreds if you like that. Yeah, anything fatty like that. So anyway, I just thought I would share this gem with you if you tolerate dairy, that is. It is a dairy product. All right, so it's been a couple minutes, and that's all I have for my introduction. So I'm going to hop right into it and start telling you what I came here to tell you. So I've been kind of advertising this for a week or 10 days because I really wanted to talk about how to affect your immune system, especially boosting your immune system, and really how to stop, causing inflammation in your body. And that in itself is going to make your immune system not work well. So we're going to talk about both because they both go together: how to boost it and how to stop messing it up, basically. And we could go on and on and on about this, but I'm going to try and make it short and concise because I don't like listening to things that go on and on. So I'm just going to try to get to my point. So I have lots of handouts here I want to show you, and they're going to be made available for you after my live. I'm going to put a link in the comment section unless I figure out somewhere else to put it. I might play with a couple spots. And if you can't get it or whatever, just send me an email. It's on my Facebook page here under Nutrition Uprising, okay? So just to tell you, if you don't know me, a little bit about myself is I'm a registered dietitian. I've got some naturopathic training that I did about 17 years ago. So that is a lot of my integrative core knowledge, I might say. And then I went and got my master's in dietetics and have been working as a registered dietitian. I do work at Beaumont on the floors, like as a hospital dietitian, which has actually taught me a lot and has actually put me in the middle of all the COVID stuff going on. So I really got to see what that looked like when people came in and what was going on with their labs and what their profile was, really their health profile. So I'm going to share that with you tonight. And I also work in the integrative medicine department at Beaumont. That's my specialty area. That's what I love doing. And now I started my virtual online practice. So nutritionuprising.com is where you can read more about that and find out more about what I do. But it's all online appointments, which is awesome because then you can be in your comfy clothes and I can be in my comfy clothes, and we can talk about nutrition, and I can help you out with whatever your questions are. People think going to see a dietitian is painful, and I'm always going to take things away from people. But it's not like that. People are always shocked after our appointments at, how nice I am and how I work with you, and give you, what you want, basically. I throw a little bit of what I want in there, but then mostly it's what you want too, because, we got to work together here. And that's the only way you're going to be successful is if we do that. All right. So I think I covered everything about me. I have an About Me page too, in case I forgot something. You can look there. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about tonight, I have a list here so I don't forget. I love lists. Is how does food affect your immune system? If you don't already know, everything you eat affects your entire body. It's an old cliche, you are what you eat, but seriously, it's true. I mean, you are what you absorb, not just what you eat. You have to uptake it as well. But the foods that you consume actually are broken down into all of their, micro parts, right? And they all get absorbed into the body and are used to do jobs. That's why humans eat food, right? So if you eat a crappy diet, you're going to have a crappy body eventually. There might be some people who can eat bad for a while, but it all catches up with you because your body can only take so much. So what you eat is also going to bring down the immune system or help boost the immune system. One of the biggest things that I want to talk about tonight as far as eating and having it really affect the immune system the most is sugar. So don't feel too cringy when I say that, because I know we're all addicted and love sugar and hate to imagine a life without it. But it doesn't have to be gone. I mean, you can really pick whatever level you want, right? Like, you don't have to do the all or nothing, which a lot of us are prone to. But if you could just be aware of the sugar in your diet, even if you want to say, I don't eat sugar, I promise you, it's there. It's in places you didn't even think of. So we'll talk about that too. Okay. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to give a bunch of handouts out, and I have them right here just to hold up a little bit while we're talking. But on one of them, actually, here, I'll just show you. It's called Sugar Suppresses Immunity. This is going to be one handout you get. And this top section here is just going to talk about all the different ways that sugar is going to affect your immune system, okay? If you heard me talk on Dr. Jance's live the other night, this is going to be similar stuff, and I'm going to throw in some new things near the end, okay? So why don't you want to have sugar in your diet? First of all, sugar is very inflammatory. There's tons of research to back this, and if you want articles, I'm full of them. But sugar actually causes inflammation in the body, and you don't even have to believe me or read a research article. You just need to try eliminating it for a couple weeks and then reintroduce it, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't even know how good you can feel off of sugar until you do it. And even then you'll feel great, but then you'll forget really quickly how bad you felt before until you have like a little relapse, like it's your birthday and you kind of go nuts a little bit, and then the next morning you wake up and then you go, oh my God, that's how sugar makes me feel. And I didn't know it before, but I know it now. Does that make sense? Okay, so all these reasons up here are going to go through that. But sugar causes inflammation. Sugar also feeds pathogens. So pathogens are parasites, viruses, fungus or molds in your body, yeast, and what am I missing? Parasites, bacteria, viruses, and mold. Okay. So those are kind of the four big categories, and they all live on glucose, which is what all carbs you eat break down into. So even if it's a healthy carb, or especially the bad carbs, they're going to break down into glucose, and they're going to go right into those pathogens and feed them and help them grow and proliferate. I sometimes like to think that they're telling you to eat more sugar, that when you're full of them, maybe they're, whispering it to you and causing these cravings, right? They're complicated, lots of chemical reactions going on, and that's probably why we're craving them so much. Because when we put people on like an anti-candida diet, which is basically a very low sugar carb diet, these cravings go away. When you go on a low sugar diet, like I'm going to recommend tonight, you're going to see a lot of these cravings go away. So it's more complicated, but these are the effects that you're going to feel, and it will get easier over time, okay? With these COVID patients coming into the ICU, like the sickest ones that I would see, their inflammatory markers were through the roof. Like, I've never seen inflammatory markers that high in my life. I haven't seen every patient in the world, mind you, but this was like just constant. Everyone that came in had the same kind of profile. They also, well, let me go back to that. So they had a lot of inflammation, and sugar feeds inflammation. So you may not be a patient in the ICU, but you may be someone who catches COVID and deals with it at home. You may have already had COVID, like me and my husband and one of my daughters. We already had COVID. We felt the inflammation. And it took us weeks to recover. Probably 2 full months before we felt like we could exercise again without being out of breath, or do our normal physical activity without feeling so poorly. And I think that's because of all the damage from the inflammation. So it would help you, whether you've had COVID or you have it now, or, I don't want anyone to catch it in the future, but I mean, this isn't really going to go away anytime soon. It's a nice favor you can do for yourself to prevent it if possible, okay? So what I'm telling you is always going to be applicable, okay? And then even forget COVID. This is always a good idea. This is what I do with my patients anyway, COVID or no COVID, okay? But I'm just focusing on that whole story tonight. Okay, so the second part of this handout, it's funny to work this, is this middle section here. And this section is just a brief list of names, the most common names that sugar hides under, okay? So it's going to be honey and maple syrup, although those are better sources, and I'm not saying don't eat them. I'm just saying they're still sugar, okay? You might be addicted to honey, and you might be putting tons of it in your tea all day long thinking, well, it's honey. But it's still sugar and can still feed a problem you've got, especially if you're also eating a high sugar diet, okay? Sugar, corn syrup, fructose, dextrose, agave, any kind of juice, even vegetable juice is still going to be a high sugar carb content, okay? And then processed foods. I mean, sugar is everywhere in these things, places you're not even expecting it, right? Like salad dressing. Why would there be sugar in it? But go to the shelf. I challenge you, go to the store, turn around every bottle, and you're going to see some form of sweetener in every single salad dressing. So one thing is just make your own at home, right? Because if you try to buy the organic ones, although even those will have it, even the paleo ones will have like some honey usually or something in it to sweeten it a bit. I don't know why. That's just, they're selling a product, right? They have a bottom line too. Make your own. There's plenty of great recipes online. They keep in the fridge for a week or two, and then you don't have to worry about that. So let's see. Okay, well, the next biggest question, I mean, and wait a minute, this goes without saying, no sugary drinks either, right? That was never my problem as a sugar addict, having sugary drinks, but I know it is for a lot of people. So obviously the answer to that, I know people want all these, magical solutions from me about what to drink, but it's just water. That's just it. I'm going to leave it there because I think that speaks for itself. All right, and then the third part of this handout here is all about what to do instead, right? Because I'm telling you, don't do this and don't do that, which is, easy to understand and something you can totally do, but it gets hard, like in the beginning, you're using willpower and you're kind of excited and you're like, I'm gonna do this. And then you're gonna start feeling cravings and wish you had something, to eat. And that might cause you to, end up in the, I don't know, Starbucks drive-thru getting a venti, whatever. So let's avoid that, and let's give yourself the best chance possible to not go down that road. So like at the same time that you're starting the no sugar, I want you to also buy things that will help you. So that is going to be listed here in this handout. More healthy fatty foods, and more protein foods in your diet. And it doesn't mean like endless amounts of protein. I just mean adequate amounts of protein. And I want you to have lots of non-starchy vegetables. Okay, so basically healthy food, right? Protein is going to be anything that comes from a healthy animal. So pastured eggs, grass-fed beef, organic poultry items, things like that. And those are also going to have healthy fats in them. And then the other healthy fats that I want you to keep around, and I have lists and lists of these things if we do a nutrition consult ever. These are very specific lists that I hand to everybody because I know what it's like to feel confused on a new regimen. So healthy fats would be like olives and coconut or any coconut product, coconut butter, coconut oil, or whatever you like in the coconut family. Using grass-fed butter in your cooking, using avocado oil or whatever oil is appropriate to the temperature that you're cooking at. Making sure there's adequate amounts of these things when you're eating. I'm blanking. Let me just look. Oh yeah, nuts and seeds, and then the non-starchy vegetables, making that half your plate. Although I'm not advocating veganism necessarily, I'm saying plant-based diet is still the right way to eat for every human body. Mostly vegetables should be our diet, right? And then a serving of protein, a serving of fat, and then a little bit of carb, if depending on what plan you're following, okay? And always high-quality foods, always whole foods. This is going to feed you, actually. It's going to keep you full. Fat, protein, and fiber all keep you full. So that really stops you craving the carbs, or really, really helps. It's a critical part of this equation. And then what was I going to say? And then the vegetables too. Of course, that's adding a lot of fiber and phytonutrients that are going to help you build your immune system. The phytonutrients found in like you've always heard this, eat the rainbow of vegetables, right? Purple eggplant, red peppers, green leafy vegetables, or dark leafy greens is what I'm saying. All of those have different phytonutrients, and then that feed different parts of your immune system. So this is, beneficial to a degree we don't even know about yet. We know a lot about it, but there's even, more that we uncover all the time about how good that is for you. So that's critical. Eating enough protein is critical because that builds your immune system. That's what makes your antibodies. They're protein molecules, and that's what's fighting this infection from this pandemic or anything in the future. So we need all that, okay? So this will be one of the handouts that you will get. Sugar suppresses immunity. Water break. It's like we're exercising. There we go. All right. So the next handout that you're going to get, let me go to this one. It is called the 14-Day Simple Sugar Detox, okay? And now remember, for those of you just joining us, when you are eating too much sugar, it's causing systemic-wide inflammation everywhere in the body, okay? But we're just focusing more on immune health right now. But it's causing inflammation everywhere. But it's really bringing down your immune system. And it's also causing inflammation in the gut. I don't know how many of you know, but most of your immune system, and this is research-based information, resides in the GI tract. So that's a whole other story about why, but it's there. And that tells you, first of all, that your immune system is always watching what you're eating. And then if you're eating poorly, especially too much inflammatory sugar, you're going to affect how your immune system functions, starting there, okay? So another one for you, if that inspires you to work on your sugar intake. All right. So for any of you who are up for the challenge, I've got this 14-Day Simple Sugar Detox handout. It's 2 pages, and it's going to be the easiest detox plan you've ever done. There's 3 steps, okay? Anybody can do this. And it's only 2 weeks. Anybody can do anything for 2 weeks, all right? Step 1 is going to be drinking half your body weight in water. A lot of us are not great water drinkers, so that's important, and it's also important for flushing and just life, right? There's 3 things required for living: water, breathing, and food. So water. Number 2, make your meals from scratch at home as much as you possibly can. No one has to be, what's her name? Julia Child. You don't have to go there, but you can still get things done in a healthy way and fast too, because that's how I cook. I'm faster than Rachel Ray. And then you want to make sure that they're all from Whole Foods. It sounds so simple, and you're like, yeah, I've heard that before. But Whole Foods makes all the difference in how you're eating and how you feel and what happens to your health, okay? So by Whole Foods, I mean don't buy that packet of, and I'm not accusing anyone, but don't buy that packet of like dry mashed potatoes with the flavor in it. Instead, get a potato, cook the potato, and mash it yourself, all right? And then it's done. That's a one ingredient. Well, you might want to put in some grass-fed butter and a little sea salt, right? And that'll make it delicious. But then it's done. And it's a whole food mashed potato recipe instead of, if you look at the ingredient list of those, I once got a free packet from Kroger on one of their free item days. I think it's a Friday. And I was just shocked at how many ingredients were at the back of that packet. So, you know, that reflects everything. I mean, even crackers. I don't expect you to make crackers, although there's recipes out there. You don't have to make the crackers, but if you look from one brand to another brand, you will see a difference in the list of ingredients. So just choose the better one. That's all I'm saying, okay? All right, so one was drink water, enough water. Number two was cooking your meals from scratch. Makes a big difference right there. And then number three is avoiding all added sugars, okay? So if you cook your meals from scratch, you can control the added sugar. So for dinner, instead of eating at a restaurant, which for sure is going to have sugar and lots of other inflammatory ingredients like, you know, highly processed vegetable oils, you could bake a chicken breast, you know, and it can be delicious. It doesn't have to be the dry 1980s Weight Watcher version of chicken breast. And you could have green bean salad with extra virgin olive oil and vinegar and, you know, a side of sauteed potatoes and grass-fed butter. It's delicious. But it's all homemade and it's all from Whole Foods and there is no added sugar to that meal. And it's totally satisfying and you have no idea that you're not getting sugar, okay? And you're getting full and you're happy, hopefully. So if you can eat like that for 2 weeks, you will detox. And I promise you, you will notice an improvement. Patients repeatedly come back and tell me, I mean, like, I feel like I could be a psychic with the amount of feedback I hear that's the same over and over. They say, I can think better. My brain fog is gone. They say, my joints don't hurt anymore. I used to have pain here or there, and it's gone now, or it's greatly reduced. They notice the inflammation goes down in general. They're not holding quite as much water because where there's sugar, there's lots of water in the body too. And where there's inflammation, there's water. Think of inflammation as like a smoldering hot fire, right? Like at the bottom of your campfire when it's almost all the way out and you've got this smoldering chunk of stuff, right? That's how inflammation is in the body. And you can feel it, can't you? Like when you're not feeling your best or you exercise and you kind of hurt or you've gone on a bender of maybe some alcohol or some, you know, McDonald's or something and you wake up feeling bad, the food hangover. That's what that is. It's your body going, oh, hell no. So when you eat these whole healthy foods consistently, like most of the time, it doesn't mean anyone needs to be perfect. I'm certainly not perfect either. Then you just feel this healing happening in you. It's really that easy. It's just food. You know, that's why I changed the focus of my career. I went to naturopathic school, but I really found that, like, unless we did something with food, unless my patients really changed their diet, it didn't matter, you know, what kind of supplements I gave them. I think there's a place for all of these things, you know, especially if you want to get a job done, but you really got to start with food, okay? So that's my big push. And then the second page of this handout, I give you how to balance your macros, how to balance your plate, and I give you a 3-day menu plan of what it would look like to eat low sugar. And I make it pretty, there's nothing crazy on here, okay? It's like got oatmeal and it's got tuna and, you know, steak and potato. Like there's nothing you've never heard of and nothing you can't make. Everyone knows how to do this. Okay, that's why there's no recipes. You know how to do these things, okay? But there's no sugar added if you make them from home. So enjoy that, okay? These are going to be for you to download, okay? So sugar suppresses immunity and a 14-day detox challenge. And if you do this challenge, I want to hear about it. I want to hear how you feel. I want to share your struggles. I want to answer your questions. I want to yell at you if you need me to yell at you. I want to hug you if you want me to hug you. Whatever you need, I do that. That's the kind of dietitian I am. Okay, and then I'm going to give you this handout, which is the foods. This is so crazy. I can't figure out which way to tilt things. It's straight, but not. Okay, here we go. Boosting immunity with food. Now, there are different foods, and I have them labeled here by category. So there's all the vitamin C foods. Is that backwards for you? There's all your vitamin A foods. Turmeric is a great thing you can add, and I give a couple ideas of how to add it to different dishes. Foods high in selenium, zinc, garlic, and even honey. Now, I know we just did this whole sugar thing, but like I said, it doesn't mean no sugar, except for the 14-day detox. That's no sugar, okay? But every other day around that, a little bit of honey is not a bad thing. It's just got to be the right honey, okay? It's got to be raw. It's got to be unpasteurized and unfiltered. So it's going to be, and local is the best, because you want to eat the allergens that the bees have gotten around you, because it's almost like having allergy shots in a way, because you're getting a dose of the allergens out there in small amounts, which actually helps your immune system and allergies if you have them. So you can take all of these foods in here, or just a few, or whatever ones you like, or whatever's compliant with your diet. It's fine. But these are just some food ideas, like garlic. Most people love garlic. Add that to more of your dishes. Get the fresh garlic, chop it up, or, I'm doing this because I pound it with my hand first, to get the oils out and let them kind of, work their magic, and then I chop them and put them in my food, okay? So these are more things you can just include. Just put them in the grocery cart, figure out what to do with them once you get home. A lot of it is stuff you probably already like. Okay, so those are the 3 handouts that you're going to get from the link that I'm going to give you. And then when you sign up for these handouts, it's going to automatically enter you into a raffle, because I am giving away a free 60-minute virtual nutrition consult. I forgot what day I said, but I'm going to look again and I'm going to see. I thought I said June 3rd or 4th. I'll announce it. So I'll send out the email, and then I will announce it here on Facebook of who the winner is, and then we'll set up a virtual appointment. I use this cool app called Healthy. You can use it on your computer or on your smartphone, and we can talk that way. So that's my favorite way to do it. All right, so when you sign up, though, you're automatically going to get my welcome newsletter, and that is going to give you 3 more handouts. I know, it's like Christmas, folks. So these are also going to help you boost your immune system, okay? Because like I said, it's easy, but it's complicated, okay? So the bottom line here is, let's reduce sugar intake, and that is totally going to help you feel better and bring your immune system function higher, so that you have your best chances of dealing with COVID. Whether you've already had it, I think there's probably damage happening to all of us. I've seen these ICU patients, which, in my mind are the worst of the worst, right? And the ones who survive and wake up still have a lot of inflammation and debility. And again, having had it, my husband, he had it worse than me, and I don't know if it was the man version or if he really had it worse, but between just me and you, I think it was a little bit of both. Anyway, I don't think he'll watch this. So regardless, though, there was still a lot of damage after. And going back to our low sugar diet, because while we were sick, we had a hard time preparing food. So we were just kind of eating whatever we could grab, canned soups or oatmeal. No one could come and help us. And the kids, we were trying to keep them away from us. So going back to our very, stricter, happy diets, don't get me wrong, has really helped us feel good. And now we can exercise, and feel a lot better. So anyway, what I was saying was, whether, you've had it already, or you think you've got it now, or you're afraid of getting it in the future, this is a great preventative. And I forgot to say this a long time ago, most of the people that come into the hospital, like the sickest patients, are the ones that have diabetes, cardiovascular disease. Almost all of them, now that I think back, were obese and overweight, but mostly obese or quite obese. And that was really what was giving them a hard time to breathe. And they were the people that tended to go on the vent. And plus fat, although I'm all into embracing ourselves, it also produces inflammatory markers, which just kind of adds to the whole problem too, okay? So, going forward, whoever you are, it's still a good idea to do low sugar or at least a low carb diet. And any degree is going to help you, okay? Okay, back to these handouts. So, how long have I been going? Oh, good, only half hour. Clean eating basics. This is going to be one of the handouts that you're going to get. This tells you what clean eating really is, which is a whole food diet and a high quality diet. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. You guys can get it and see what it says. But again, it's probably nothing you haven't heard before, but it's all written down for you in an organized way. And this is even just like the first step. If we do a consult, you'll see much more detailed lists of foods and exactly what to choose and in exactly what amounts. Okay. So this one tells you what the names of the foods are that you want to buy. So it'll tell you what labels to look for to get the highest quality food. And you do what you can within your budget. It's okay. No stress. No extra stress. And then it tells you again a little bit about how to balance your macros, how to balance your plate. And really, if you pay close attention, this is a great plan for anybody, no matter what you are. If you're a vegetarian, if you're paleo, not keto, but just about anything else, this is a great plan to follow. So that will be one of the handouts you get. Another one you're going to get is a little bit more specific, is your daily macronutrient goals. So your macronutrients are fat, carbs, and protein. And I love how this is like mainstream information now. Most people know this stuff, which is cool. This just shows you in general how to balance your plate. I don't give numbers here because I do that during the consultation. You got to come see me for the good stuff. But this will just in general tell you what I'm telling to people. It should be a mostly plant-based diet. Non-starchy vegetables should make half your plate. You should always have a healthy fat. You should always have a high-quality protein, and then optional are your carbs. But they should always be the best quality whole grains or whole food sources. Of course, whole grains or starchy vegetables, legumes, whatever you tolerate, whatever diet you're on. But this is just a basic list of how to balance your macros. Some people don't want to count stuff. Some people don't want to know the ratios, and that's okay too. If you just follow this plate in general, it will be incredibly helpful, and I promise you different than how you're probably already eating. And then the last handout you're going to get, I know everyone has seen this 100 million times, but I can't tell you how much this changed my life. I wanted to shop at Whole Foods so badly for years, and I could never afford it. And so it forced me to make a plan of what I was going to eat every day and then what were the foods I was going to buy. So don't pass this one up. Download it. Start doing it every week before you grocery shop if it's not already a habit for you. It will organize you, especially if you're a mom, any of you that are moms on here. So what I do is I go through each day, and some days say leftovers, and some days say eating out, if you can find somewhere healthy to go. I don't like have a new awesome recipe every time I cook a meal. And then underneath, so conveniently on the same page, I might put overnight oats in one of my breakfast boxes. And then I'll come down to the middle aisle section because I have it by section. So I have produce, meat and dairy, middle aisles, and frozen foods. Because when you're a mom and you've got a child that has a timer on it, you need to get in and the hell out. So I used to shop by section. And if I missed something, dear God, I didn't turn around. We just didn't have it. I'm sure you know what I mean. So if you were going to do overnight oats, in the middle aisles, I would write oatmeal. And if I would look in my pantry, do I need maple syrup? Do I need mashed banana or apples or walnuts? Because those are things I would put in there instead of syrup. Then I would write that in there. So when you're shopping, you have all the things that you planned for, no problems. Do you see that? It's super smart. So if you already do it, kudos to you. That's awesome. But a lot of people don't. And then it becomes stressful for them about like, how am I going to eat? What am I going to do? How am I going to make this work for me and my family? And I'm too busy. Everyone's busy. And everyone makes what they think is important a priority. So if this is a priority to you, you will make it one. All right? So those are your 6 handouts that you're going to get. Oh, there's one more thing I want to do, but we have to take a short water break. All right. I talked myself into a frizzy. So the supplements that you want to do. Now this is just very blankety, but to help boost the immune system, and I was really impressed to see them do this at Beaumont. because, it's conventional medicine, and usually hospitals aren't really like always on the cutting edge of functional medicine, especially vitamins. Like, it's just not common. But I was really thrilled to see this. I don't know who came up with it. But you want to take a chelated zinc supplement, 30 to 45 milligrams a day. You don't want to take it forever. Most of us are likely somewhat to a lot deficient. I don't know for sure. There are labs that you can have done to find out, but they're expensive, and right now it's really hard to get that stuff done. I would just be on the side of caution, and I would just get a bottle and take it. And if you need help with any of this, just let me know and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. So I would do zinc. I would do vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams a day. Okay, more than that might give you the disaster pants, as Dave Asprey calls them. You can slowly go up, of course, but 1,000 milligrams a day should be totally fine. I would do a nice fish oil product, like a cod liver oil. Nordic Naturals is a good popular brand you can find in a lot of health food stores or online. And on my website, by the way, I almost forgot, I give everybody 20% off supplements because these are tough times, and I want you to be able to get them at a good price instead of go without them. Okay, that was the biggest discount I could apply. I couldn't give any more, but because they just don't allow it on the website, but you can get 20% off on my main page, nutritionuprising.com. Okay, so vitamins, or zinc, vitamin C, the fish oil, but specifically cod liver oil, or if you like sardine oil or tuna oil or anchovy oil, whatever. You can do 1 to 2 grams a day of that, or as directed on the bottle, however it's formulated. And then, you can do a multi, but I wouldn't do like a Centrum. I would get like a higher end brand. So if you have questions on that, you can ask me. But those are really some basic things, I don't know, personally, like the list goes on and on. I take a lot of stuff, but those would be and vitamin D, oh my God. I would get vitamin D3, but I would get it with K2, vitamin K2. Now, you've heard of vitamin K. K2 is the one that really helps bind vitamin D and calcium into bone tissue, and other minerals too, phosphorus and all that. But vitamin D it's actually not a vitamin, but it is critical in so many functions in the body, and we are definitely deficient living at the 42nd parallel of the world. We don't get a lot of sun here, so we're definitely deficient. So grab those things. And with vitamin D, that's I don't know what to tell you without seeing your labs or knowing more about you if you've taken it before, but you can safely do 1,000 units a day of that. And then I would just, next time you get labs done, have your doctor test your vitamin D, find out where you're at. And then you can always ask me about what range I think you should be in, because it's usually a little different than what conventional medicine recommends, okay? But those are all great things for your immune system, and on top of a healthy whole food diet that is as low in sugar as you possibly can do, is just going to be beneficial to the nth degree. And, I'm talking about COVID because that's what's going on, but really it's any health problem, any disease, any chronic illness you've got. This is always going to be the advice to start with. And then, specific food adjustments happen depending on you personally. But anyway, so all of these handouts are yours if you go to the link that I will post in just a minute when I end. And then I talked about the supplements. And again, there is the raffle. So when you download it, we'll automatically put you into the raffle, which I will pick a person and make an announcement. And then we will have an appointment. Woo woo. And then, and then there's also a buy one, get one free thing going on now too, because I'm trying to help, and make it easy for people, but still get the advice that they want. So the promo code for that is on my website, but it's Mama's Got You. So check that out. All right, I didn't see any questions. I'm not sure if I was supposed to enable something to let questions come on. I'll figure that out as we go along. I think the next topic that I'm going to do for my live, and I'm not sure how often I'll do these, maybe once a week, maybe every other week, I don't know. Maybe more often, we'll see. But the next one I want to do is about weight gain during COVID. So I'll think of a funny name for the title of that, and then we'll talk about that, and then what we can do to help get ourselves back on track. Okay? Thanks for coming. I'm so glad that you did, and I hope you learned something from this. And like I said, I will post this in just a minute. So I will see you later. Have a great night, guys. Bye-bye. Mwah.